I'm not like them.
Hello and welcome to the EMOTIONA project, the show where we observe, analyze, and recreate different types of emotional phenomena. My name is Brian, aka EMOTIONA. On this episode, we'll be checking out the very first band that I started listening to growing up, the reason why I picked up the guitar in the first place. I'm talking about the champions of grunge and alternative rock, NIRVANA. So I'm really excited for this first episode. I thought it'd be a cool idea to start things off with the first band that I started listening to growing up. So I went right back to NIRVANA Unplugged to kind of relearn the guitar parts, and we do a little before and after. So here's the original guitar part from NIRVANA Unplugged. So that was the original guitar part, super solid, classic Nirvana. But I remember at the beginning of the project, just kind of wanted to reimagine the whole thing and just wanted a new feel in general. So I came up with 4 new sort of elements that I'll play through now, and I'll give you a chance to just kind of listen through and feel out how they sort of affect the mood of the track. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how each one kind of sits in the mix. Piano, cello, guitar, and the beat played on the Ableton Push. Let me know in the comment section below which one was your favorite part, which one were you sort of vibing with the most. But yeah, there's one more thing that I always like to add and that's like an environmental or an ambient style, just a very faint background, just to give some depth to the mix. And I figured we're in downtown Indianapolis, why not go outside and sort of capture some real life environmental sounds. So let's go on a little road trip. While we're in the car, I'll play the first half of the track so I can kind of show you where we've taken it so far, and then we'll come back to the studio and piece it all back together. Let's go.
I'm not like them, but I can pretend. The sun is gone, but I have a light. The day is done, but I'm having fun. I think I'm dumb, or maybe just happy. I think I'm just happy. Yeah, I think I'm just happy. I think I'm just happy.
GPS vibe check. Let's see, we're here downtown Indianapolis. This is like South Meridian. We've got a patron saint, Taps and Dolls. This is Indy's hottest nightlife. This is where all the clubs are at. But yeah, every time I think of Nirvana, I think of that one song where it's like, underneath the bridge. I think it's Something in the Way. Anyways, I found a bridge. I thought maybe we'd grab some cool sounds. So let's grab our little field recorder. Let's get some bridge sounds, see what happens. right, guys, I think we got it. I'll go ahead and throw the GPS coordinates here. So if you're ever in the Indianapolis area, you could like take a picture of yourself and tag me on social media. And it'll be like we're sharing the same space. But anyways, let's take these sounds back to the studio and see what we can get. So we've got our instrumentals, we've got our environmental sound. Let's jump into Ableton and sort of see how it all comes together. All right, so we're inside the Ableton project here. And yeah, I just want to kind of show what the different elements are kind of doing and how they're sort of sitting in the mix. So let's see, what do we have first? With the piano, which really, the tracks kind of started with that piano, just those chords, and didn't end up actually using the piano tone in the final recording, but they did kind of make their way to the pad. So here's like just the pad sound in the verse, which, I mean, for me, don't underestimate just a solid pad. I don't want to always use it because they're just always awesome sounding and they're always really just very ambient and big. But
I think I'm dumb, or maybe just happy.
And they sort of keep going here, so they kind of a little bit lower with just some higher notes being played. The cello, so cello kind of came later. I wanted to add it just to have it, but really here's the cello track, and only here at the after the second verse and the second build is when the cello really kind of comes in.
Then we'll come down and have a hangover.
And really, it's only here to just add just a deeper environmental feel. So you can kind of just hear it coming in. Didn't want it to sound too overbearing, but I did like in the second half of the build, it kind of pitches up, which that's so cool. Just took the recorded cello part and just pitched it up. Let's see, yeah, Pro, and then kind of lowered the formant to give it just a little more of a bitey tone, so it would cut through. What's going on the cello, like effect wise? We got vintage verb, OTT, Saturn, there's an EQ, some filter. And you can hear kind of the digitalness of it happening. So that's looks like the cello loop that I already had some reverb and stuff in it, but I think it just added more. Ooh, really kind of warm reverb, and you can do that with like a high cut on some of this. There's OTT to kind of bring out some of the details. Saturn just kind of, and that might be too much Saturn, but I'm just trying to make it kind of cut through so you can hear it. EQ now, sort of the lower stuff, so it doesn't get in the mix of the lower end of the build. And just a filter to kind of add some energy going up. So there's the cello. What was next? We had the piano, cello, the guitar. So guitar was kind of cool. Doesn't happen until kind of the chorus, if you want to call it that.
The day is done. I think I'm dumb, or maybe just happy.
So it's right here. And one thing that's adding to the just the groove is just the side chain. So we've got the verse, drums, side chaining, giving it that pumping sound. I mean, if you don't hear the pumping, it's turn off the side chain, it doesn't pump at all. So it's the same thing, just panned all the way right. There it is in the center. But yeah, that pumping definitely adds to the feel. And with an electronic track, I was thinking of the guitar. I didn't want it to be too sort of old, sounding. So added a higher layer to it. So I took the same guitar layer and pitched it up. Gave it a little auto pan. But then another thing you can do is, if you've got your pitched up audio file or audio track, if you go to beats and then preserve, it's kind of like it preserves the transients in like a musical way. So it's like we're at 16th notes. I changed this little forward guide, and it kind of just chops it. So it turns it into like here it is without, and it turns it into like to a rhythmic pattern as you go down. So that, and then it layered with the original guitar. So that's cool. Sort sort of, you know, incubus-y. But that's just my crazy brain thinking like that. But definitely that higher guitar part adds a little bit more of a synthetic layer, so I thought that sounded kind of cool. But yeah, there's a guitar. What was the final thing? Let's see. Piano, cello, guitar. Oh, the initial beat that we played on the push. So here it is. This is the kind of main beat. Got a transient master just on the groove, just giving it a little bit of a transient cut, but that's not really the big thing. Just a really just kind of nice kick. A little trappy. They're not even delayed. They're just. Let me show you. 3 different snares, just adding some groove. Got a little vintage verb to give it some space. Well, there it is, dry. Vintage verb is key. And then a really cool thing is these are reverse swells. So you get this. And so then we're adding those to kind of make it a flow. So yeah, there's the verse drums. Heavier drums in the drop. Hey. But good stuff. Let's see. Final thing, the environmental sound, which was really cool going out there and capturing that downtown. I've always wanted to do that, but instead I just kind of used just random noise stuff. But this turned out really, really cool. Here it is just by itself. We're under the bridge. I took the exact thing, just low cut it a little bit. There's a car passing. But really, it just adds like we said, like it adds a layer of depth to everything, and you can hear it right at the beginning of the track. Super nice. You wouldn't think it's real; it's just like an organic layer. And then I was feeling it, added it like to the whole song. So here it is in the drop. Like you can't hear it, but you can. It's just another dynamic kind of whoosher. Whoosh. And then when you take it away in the verse, then you can kind of really hear that. You subconsciously feel that it's gone. So there you go.
My heart is broke.
So there you go, you guys. There was sort of the 4 elements, and kind of cool how they all came together. So, booyah. Well, there it is, the very first EMOTIONA project. Super stoked with how it turned out. It was a lot of fun to make, but definitely hit the subscribe button if you want to see more in the future. But also, if you're a music producer, you want to download the full Ableton Live project, you can do that at emotionamusic.com. But I guess that's it for this episode. Until next time, peace.